my late father, Hareini Kapos Mishkovi, Ovi Mighty. It is on the first day of Shavuos, 1945, Tafshin Dalet, that he arrived in Birkenau, in Auschwitz. And at that very same day, he last saw his father, his mother, 5 of his siblings. The family was torn asunder. They were sent right to the gas chambers. He and 2 brothers were sent left to life. One day later, second day Yom Tov, the great Kloisenberger Rebbe, Moiri Varabi, Zechet Tzadik V'Kodesh Lavrocha, arrived in Birkenau. My father came from the little town of Salish. He didn't know the Kloisenberger Rebbe, but he heard a great deal about him. And when my father heard that the Kloisenberger Rebbe arrived, and he was one barracks, one building next to the place my father stayed, my father very much wanted to know him, to be close to him. But Birkenau was nothing like the Hilton or the Sheraton. You wanted to change a room. You didn't go to reception and ask for another room. It didn't work that way. So in the middle of the night, my father sneaked over to the other barracks and he changed his spot with another person. In the morning, he happily walked over to the Rebbe and said, I made an effort, and Baruch Hashem, I was matzliach to be here right close to you. And the great Rebbe frowned upon him. And he said, the mindset that is helfen, said the gunish helfen. If you think it's going to do you any good, it won't do you any good. My father responded, Avada vet es me helfen, chal hob mit vein zu reden and lernen. Of course it's going to do me good. We'll be able to talk and learning. And the Rebbe was taken aback and he said, Bocha, you're in Auschwitz and you want to talk and learning? To which my father responded, yes, Rebbe. Of course I want to talk and learning. If we won't talk and learning, how will we prevail? How will he make it? How will we live through this Gehenna? The Rebbe was moved. He hugged my father, and for the next 12 months, they were together. From Birkenau to Warsaw, to clear away the rubble after the uprising was destroyed. The ghetto was destroyed. From Warsaw to Dachau, from Dachau to Tutsi, from Tutsi to Mildorf, until they were liberated. And right after the liberation, the Rebbe asked for volunteers to care for the dead, because the bodies were everywhere. The bodies of those Kedoshim that were murdered. No one volunteered. My father was the only one. So they had an American Army Jeep and an Army driver, and day and night they roamed the fields and brought the deceased to Kevi Yisrael. When it was over, the Rebbe asked my father whether he has any special request. And my father said, yes. I want a brocha to have children, Talmidei Chachamim. Upon which the Rebbe gave him a brocha that his children should light up the world with the light of Torah. But a year and a half after the liberation, after caring for the dead, they dedicated all their energies to care for the living, to try to rebuild Beis Yisrael, building mikvahs, establishing yeshivas for the boys, schools for the girls. After a year and a half, my father approached the Rebbe and he said, I think I have done enough. I think I paid my share and I want to go back to learning. My father was a tremendous Ilu, he was a tremendous Talmid Chacham. And he told the Rebbe, I haven't opened a Gemara for more than 2 years. I want to go back to learning. And the Rebbe once again frowned upon him. And he said, Moshe, you know nothing about Mesirus Nefesh. Really? You know nothing about Mesirus Nefesh. You think that depriving oneself from food or drinks is Mesirus Nefesh. No, that's Mesirus Aguf. Closing your Gemara for Klal Yisrael, that is Mesirus Nefesh. Needless to say, my father stayed on with the Rebbe. And for years, these two giants that did not despair over their personal tragedy, that Rebbe lost a wife and 11 children. My father was a young boy. He was 17, 18 years old. He lost his parents and most of his siblings. But they found the strength and the courage to dedicate all their energies to rebuild Torah, to rebuild Yiddishkeit in America and then in Eretz Yisrael. 65 years passed, fast forward, and my father was 80 years old. Vייs. And I planned to go to Poland for a Holocaust study with a group of my Hasidim and good friends. With trepidation, I approached my father and asked him, "Would you want to come along?" And I was totally surprised when he said, "Yes, I will come along." And I was really afraid what will happen, how will he react when we will stand next to the train tracks in Birkenau. And my father, with tremendous courage and strength, stood there and he said, "This is the very place where I last saw most of my family." And it is then the first time that I ever heard from my father what were the last words that he heard from his father before the family was torn apart. And my father told me the last words I heard from my father when he looked around and he realized what's happening. He said, "Moshe, kik sechim avdana bridalach." Moshe, watch over your brothers. And I think that my father's interpretation was not only referring to his two younger brothers, Hershey and Yechiel. He took that as a command. Care for your brothers, care for your brethren. Kulanu b'nei Yishochad nachnu. We all share the same fathers, Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. We are all HaKadosh Baruch Hu's children. That was my father's interpretation. And those two giants, my great Rebbe, the Kloisenberger Rebbe, and my late father, those two giants rose to the challenge and dedicated all their energies for Klal Yisrael. My dear friends, Talmidim, and lovers of Torah in the entire world, as you know, I believe that life is a mission. And I think I know what my mission is: to aspire, to teach, and to spread the love of Torah wherever our people are. We're living in a changing world. On one hand, the dangers are immense, but the opportunities are limitless. And in the Jewish world, there's a tremendous thirst for Torah. And I am trying to inspire and teach my Talmidim to rise to the challenge. So the hundreds of Talmidim are Talmidei Chacham of the highest caliber, and they are learning how to teach, how to disseminate Torah, how to paskin in the most complicated matters of halacha. Many of these Talmidim will be the leaders and the teachers of Torah of the coming generation. I also dedicate a great part of my day to chesed. And every morning after davening, people come in and out. I dedicate a lot of effort and energy just to hear the cries of the needy, the desperate. And I need your help and I need your support. I need partners. And I plead with you, please be my partners. The sky is the limit. There is so much more we could do. And let us hope that together we really could change the world.